different aspects of it. Of, you know, someone who's saying, I can dump, and the other one saying, you know, we need to clean up, and this is our... You know.
He walks away.
So it's really, yeah, and he walks away. I think that captured your whole image of that beginning. Actually, it was more than the words. It was fantastic.
Just now your camera angle, for example, when you were walking in, just showing your shoes was so awesome. And then again, she was zooming out from after everything has grown. She was zooming out to kind of create a continuity. It was just awesome.
We did have a lot of Saif and Rupal, like, so it was
Good job.
I like the combination, that the fact that first you started off with something which was silent and, you know, showing something, and then you went on to interview people, but then you also had the music at the end which had the message. And that is sort of I think it's very good to keep people's attention going in an issue that you want them to watch, is to play with the different kinds of things you're doing. And even though you were interviewing people in loud places, including the subtitles was a great idea, because it made me just forget that it made me tune out the sound around the person that I was hearing. It was great, man.
Very well done.
Now, I think it shows how important editing is, to talk about how of editing and how you can make or break a story through editing. It was very interesting the way you picked the right kinds of statements made by, you obviously interviewed them for longer and they said much more, right? So you picked the right things that they said, and you included them with the right sequence. And one more thing is the reason, with or without the subtitles, the reason you would concentrate on the subject is because of the framing, because of the movement of the camera and the framing. The framing was, it was bang on that the person who's talking is important. You don't have to look for anything else. Look at that person, listen to what he's saying. You know, as opposed to something like in a documentary or in an interview, unless you have a very strong justification as to why the background building is so important, there is no need for a background building for an interview. You know, you can probably show if it was about a commotion or a protest happening in front of the building, go have a wide angle and then say, see, यहाँ पे हो रहा है, इसलिए building का importance ये है, यहाँ पे ये सब होता है. But when it's an interview, it's all about the person, and especially, I don't know the guy's name, the way he introduced a little drama in the way he answered the question. She went all the way up to his face and then she was moving up his chin. Even though he was waving his eyes, we were still with him. Because firstly, there was some drama over there. It was funny, it was interesting, and it was up close, and there was really nothing, not many options given to us. You know, it was the person and we had to listen to him. So I think even without the subtitles and without all the noise, the kind of framing and the way people were talking, the right kind of statements that they chose to put, I think it made up a great story.
Can we just keep the comments brief? I have one question. I'm the moderator. I picked myself to ask first. So, my question is, why didn't you speak to the perpetrator or the victim?
So, because I wanted as few words and to keep it minimalist. I mean, I knew the whole premise was of interviews. Just after my comment, but like originally, the original concept had even fewer interviews in it. It was actually supposed to be even more raw. That we were thinking of doing cameos, like going up to normal people doing, just eating or something and doing something really atrocious, like slapping them. So, and we wanted to show that injustice is universal, and we didn't want to use any words, nothing, just simple human emotions, like when somebody slaps you, your first reaction to injustice. The most innate, raw, like, and it's pretty universal. You kick a dog or you kick a child. So this actually was more wordy than I intended, even because it was so synthetic that we had to be creative.
I have one comment and one question. So the other thing I think which was great was the fact that I don't know whether that was in the questions you were asking the people or just in the responses you got, which was they related back to people, to us, you know, directly, who might not have had injustice faced against them again and again, which is, I think, what we did. And the question is, so having the choice not to interview Rachna, who's here and who's such an active part of the, most active part of the campaign, person we have here, how you made that choice is something.
It wasn't that much of a choice. It was, we were running out of time. More logistics, but I think, I don't know, I have a criticism for the video, but one second, I'm finished. I have questions
I think
which
we
I
just
want to
have to
feedback
add some
for.
technical and like, you know, I mean we can go on and
I
on
think it
like how.
also shows that fiction film is as powerful as television fiction is not always just.
There is.
We have to take separate comments. Sorry.
Yeah, because when we were filming it yesterday, we wanted to ask a question to the audience. So I don't know. I want a chance at some point later. Okay, let's go in an order.
Vinay is keeping the order.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I found the use, I don't know whether that it's deliberate, but like the background in front of which Asti was standing, the MIT building, that actually, like, I mean, it probably comes from a bias of knowing that Dow has investments in MIT. That building in the background actually, I thought, was speaking a lot. It actually represented Dow, and that's why how I was looking at it.
It wasn't deliberate on our part at all.
But I thought
Asti was there, Kavita was ready.
So, but I thought, like, this is kind of relating back to Vinay's question, like, why didn't you talk to the perpetrator, let's say. I think that particular frame sort of was, in a way, talking to the perpetrator.
I don't know.
आपने बोला कि जो हमारे खिलाफ है हम नहीं दिखाएगा, पर अभी एड में डॉक्यूमेंट्री फिल्म का एक पर्पस जो है कि जब हम पब्लिक में कुछ टेबलिंग करते हैं हमारे खिलाफ बहुत लोग सवाल पूछते हैं, उनका जवाब हमारे पास कभी कभी नहीं रहेगा। तो अगर डॉक्यूमेंट्री में भी कोई खिलाफ का पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू भी बताए और उसका जवाब क्या है लोगों का, वो भी कैसा दिखाएंगे। ऐसी फिल्म में कोई बोल सकता है कि जो जैसे बाहर बोलते हैं कि वो 25 साल हो गया, अभी क्या क्यों अभी भी आवाज़ दे रहे हैं, तो ऐसा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू स्ट्रेटेजिकली कैसे दिखाते हैं।
एक बार सारे सवाल है, लेकिन केवल 5 मिनट की गड़बड़ी बाकी है।
मुझे भी सवाल है।
पहले सारे सवाल एक बार।
एक मिनट, प्रसाद।
Yeah, so my question is about editing. Not sure if this is like that music. There were two pieces of music, right? One music started in the middle, and I got the impression that it's already over, and it suddenly came up with jarring, like almost the mood changed. It sounded too light-hearted, and the music or whatever it was, and I was thinking, oh, it's a bit, is it already over kind of thing? And then it started again, and then the ending looked appropriate, but I think that particular little bit in the middle was like.
It looks like a false ending.
Yeah, it had this startling.
Karthik being mentioned.
So the few times that I've appeared in videos in my life, I've usually embarrassed myself. It's almost a pathological quality. But then I noticed that you had edited the embarrassing parts and kept to the point, so it is appreciated.
I have the raw video if anyone wants to.
It's on the same lines as what Archana was saying, that fiction, you can show documentaries with fiction too. I was first impressed, I don't know how many of you have seen Will, which was about LGBT issues. The same mayor of San Francisco was the first gay mayor, he had a real documentary. But I started feeling, after seeing fictional documentaries, that the person there is like a hero. I mean, the projects aren't even here, I just felt that. I mean, the interviewers are like, I don't know, heroes.
Yeah, I mean, we were not unbiased. Yeah, I did want to ask a question. So, कल जब हम लोग बना रहे थे डॉक्यूमेंट्री, तो हम लोग सोच रहे थे कहीं पे भी we don't talk about what actually happened in Bhopal. There's nothing. I mean, it was sort of deliberate on our part because we were wanting to talk about something a basic human emotion of injustice, and why should Bhopal be any different? So we left out Bhopal at all. और फिर हम लोग सोच रहे थे कि शायद हमको और भोपाल के बारे में जानकारी डालनी चाहिए. So we were, आज भी हम लोग को थोड़ा लग रहा है कि शायद it looks a little